You turn off your alarm before the sun has even risen, wipe the sleep out of your eyes, and force yourself to roll out of bed. Managing to get to the couch, you turn on the TV to catch that show you've been waiting all week for. You can almost sense the excitement in the air as you watch what feels to be the most amazing thing you've ever seen. Afterwards, you pass out, and that's the beauty of Saturday morning cartoons. See, the thing that's happened is we've gotten instant gratification constantly. Like, everything is just waiting for you to just go and get it. Like a sugar rush is constantly on the horizon. A Mountain Dew or a Monster is sitting on the table and you're waiting to drink it every day. There's no such thing as delayed gratification anymore. It's always just instantaneous. The delayed gratification is maybe boosted by the fact you have to actually do something like go to school or go to work, where you come home and you're like, oh, I can finally do this thing. Or you wake up early in the morning, you're like, oh, I can finally do this thing. But nobody has the time management for that, and there's no way that that's actually happening with school, at least. With work, probably. But with school, there's no way that's happening. There's no kid that wakes up early in the morning that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and do this thing now. It's usually just like, okay, let me wake up like 10 minutes before school starts and then maybe be late by 5. But the main thing is that instant gratification is completely and utterly taken over, right? It's like everybody's scrolling TikTok, everybody's just endlessly scrolling TikTok or scrolling like Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, and they're becoming completely and utterly infatuated and absorbed with nothing. There is not a lot of substantial content on YouTube Shorts or on TikTok or whatnot. But short-form content, there's just not as much substantial stuff there. It's always just either bite-sized chunks of a grander picture, or it's just there for like instant funny, instant comedy, instant like something, right? It's like when somebody talks about a single quote from like some random-ass philosopher and you're like, oh man, that's profound. But the problem is that you have to spend like literally at least 5 minutes talking about it to actually understand anything that the quote has to do with. But the thing is that it's all instant now. It's never like you can definitely explain a point. You can definitely have something beneficial come from TikTok. I've just had the misfortune of just scrolling for hours and gaining nothing, and the main reason for that is because the algorithm's supposed to make you scroll for hours. If you found something profound, then you probably get off the app because you'd have to actually do something with that information. But alas, you are stuck to just scrolling the app mindlessly, because by the time you actually find something that's good, you'll swipe again and then again and then again. You'll forget the thing that you found. But I digress. The main thing is instant gratification, right? There's no, even when like a video game is announced and it's coming out in 2 months or a year or 2 years even, it's like I have so many other games that it's fine, who cares, whatever. I got other stuff I can do, right? And there's just not that delayed gratification, you know, where you wait until like the morning for something grand to happen, right? For me to watch that new episode or catch up on Dragon Ball or do something like that. Because even if I miss Dragon Ball, I can watch it later in the day, you know? It's not like I have to manage my time well at all. You can do things whenever you want now, pretty much, and there's a benefit to that, and I'll get to that later, but it feels like everything is just let me mosey about my day and just kind of go through life instead of experiencing it and just like preparing for things. There's no like prep work really. It's just, oh, I can go and watch TV, I'll watch this show now. But I feel like we have to create our own delayed gratification now. Like everything is just given to us instantly, so we have to like create just the sense of delayed gratification because it gives you some sort of purpose or something to look forward to, and everybody needs something to look forward to, and I feel like there's not much to look forward to nowadays. It's more so, oh, let me look forward to my paycheck this week so then I can pay rent, or so then I can like, you know, survive. You have to like set up things to look forward to, because if you don't have anything to look forward to, what's the point of tomorrow? So I guess the advice bit for this little segment would be make a plan. Figure out something you want to do tomorrow or the next day or even a week from now, and set that delayed gratification, because it'll be way more satisfying than anything that can be provided to you based on just the instant dopamine hit of TikTok or the YouTube Shorts algorithm. Do you really want Cabby Lane to be your like icon, your idol, the dude that does, You want him to be the bastion of hope, the person that you look to for advice and whatnot in your day, and actually like feel meaning in your life based on that. Yeah, right. I know you want some meaning in your life based on something a little bit more substance based, but yeah. The other thing with the Saturday morning cartoons that always comes to mind for me is work ethic. And it's a weird thing to throw those two together, but when I was little, I would wake up at 6 in the morning on a Saturday, which means it was my own personal choice. It wasn't like I was waking up for school or anything. And then I would go and I would watch my show, and I'd mosey on throughout my entire day, and then I'd have to stay up later to watch another episode of something else. And then I'd have to plan to wake up again to catch the next episode of Dragon Ball because, hey man, the last one left off on a cliffhanger, and I need to watch this thing. But now when it comes, and I'm talking about like kids particularly, right? Kids don't have any reason to have a work ethic like that. At least there isn't a driving factor to be like, oh, I need to wake up at this early time to go and do this XYZ thing, right? It's always forced. It's school. I have to wake up at this time to go to school. But there's no thing that I can think of at least where it's like, I need to wake up in the morning to go and do this thing. And it creates a sense of work ethic, waking up when you don't want to and staying up when you don't want to stay up. And that's kind of the point of this, is that when I was little, I felt like I got work ethic and I felt like I got drive based on having to wake up to watch cartoons or having to go to Blockbuster to go and get like a movie, There's a certain level of like time I had to spend to go and get or consume the media I wanted to consume, or play the video game I wanted to play. I had to wait to go to GameStop, right? And now it's like, okay, here's your PS5, little Timmy, go download the newest game, or hey man, a new Netflix show dropped, go watch this Netflix show, or go scroll your iPad instantly, right? The iPad generation, the iPad kids of just consuming content to their dopamine and their attention span is actually negative too. Because do you think any of these kids are actually reading books in school, bro? They're probably like, they're just reading the like little Spark Notes thing, right? We have to listen to Audible books now because we can't consume books. We can't read anymore. And it's not because we don't know how to read. It's because the actual like stimulation of reading is so much less than TikTok or any other app. But I do think that the work ethic aspect of Saturday morning cartoons was super beneficial. It's like when you're a little kid, you have something to look forward to and a reason to wake up in the morning, and it's your own choice to wake up. It's nobody else's. It's your choice that you want to wake up. And then when you get a 9-to-5 job, or you get just a job in general and you have to wake up for something, it's like now it's ingrained. It's been a while, but I've spent the entirety of my young adulthood waking up for things. I woke up for this particularly, and it wasn't forced upon me. I just needed to wake up for something. I say the point is too much, but the point is that school is something that you're forced to get up for. And Saturday morning cartoons you weren't forced to get up for, and late night cartoons you weren't forced to stay up for, but you did it anyway because you wanted to, and you wanted to do something with your time. But when it comes to school is forced upon you, and it's not like you're gaining anything from being forced to wake up because it's not your own choice. But when it becomes your own choice, you learn a valuable lesson, and once you learn that lesson and it's ingrained in you, you are more prepared for the real world of having to wake up on time for things. Simple childhood wonder is semi or partially gone. Like, we're away from that point where you'd stay up all night and watch the newest episode of something, and it's Goku versus Frieza. He finally went Super Saiyan, and it's the craziest moment of your life. You're like, oh my god, I've never seen something like this before. It's the most insane possible thing. And the feeling was great, it was like you waited so long to see this thing happen, and it finally happens. It's one of the most euphoric moments ever. And we don't really have that anymore. It's all kind of mundane. Everything's overplayed out. Everything's happened 27 times. And it's gotten to the point where, I don't even know, kids' TV now is like a complete nightmare, but that's a different topic for a different day. But it's just, everything's so instantaneous that there's no moment that is so euphoric like Goku turning Super Saiyan, or Naruto, or anything that happens in any show from when you were little. There isn't that moment that you waited for anymore. It's all instant, And I don't think that kids will have that moment where you were waiting for a super long time for something to happen in a TV show, and it's the most insane, life-changing thing ever. You know, there's like those kids that would watch like the anime or whatever that was on, and then they'd go and like start their own training arc. And there's all the people that watched Dragon Ball is such a good example. They would watch Dragon Ball and then they'd start going to the gym because they wanted to be buff like Goku. And there was just something about the waiting process of that added so much to the experience, because you were just waiting for this amazing moment to happen, and it finally happened. Whereas now it's like the amazing moments have happened so many times, or they happen and then you go to the next amazing moment and the next amazing moment, and half the time you're just scrolling your TikTok feed to see a reel of all the amazing moments of a TV show because you don't actually feel like watching it. And I feel like that's kind of the point of where we're at, where it's like we don't have that groundbreaking moment that's going to change everything anymore, for our young lives at least. You know, we don't have that wait until something truly amazing happens. It's the instant truly amazing thing happening, and then you're just going to want to go for the next one. I know it's like mainly nostalgia, and that I would hate to wait for like shows to air nowadays, but at least for when I was little, it was the most amazing thing. And I think one of the grander aspects of me growing up was waiting, and the time management and the work ethic ingrained in me from waiting for those TV shows to air. And I still have really fond memories of all of that. Right now, the actual like light that I'm using is the fight scene between Goku and Frieza, and I'm glimpsing up at it and being like, whoa, this was so cool. But it's a lot of nostalgia, you know, waiting for those like Toonami ads and all that stuff. I just think that there was a certain benefit that they provided to us, and I don't want that benefit to be forgotten. And I just want people to think about the fact that instant gratification may be ruining a lot of the things that we hold dear to our attention span, and it will take away a lot of things that we would view as special if we just waited for them instead of just instantly taking that hit. Anyways, I've been yapping for too long, and I'm tired because I've been watching some late night cartoons. And you can classify them as early morning cartoons, considering that, you know, it's past 1 a.m., so it's the morning now. It's a.m., okay? If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, do what you gotta do, drop a comment with your thoughts on the topic, and yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep, I guess.